Hello children, and welcome to another session of Children's Liturgy. Today, we celebrate the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Let us listen to the Gospel reading.
After walking all day, Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum. When Jesus asked the disciples what they had been talking about on the way, no one looked at Jesus or answered his question, because they had been arguing about which one of them was the most important. Jesus told the disciples to sit down, and then he said, "Anyone who wants to be the greatest must become the servant of all and make himself the least important."
Let us take some time to imagine this scene. You are with Jesus and his disciples, about to have a meal together. You are extremely happy to be near this wonderful person of Jesus who has been going around healing people who are sick, feeding thousands of people who are hungry with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, casting out evil spirits, calming the rough sea during a storm, and even bringing people who had died back to life. This is an amazing master and teacher. You feel so much joy being in his presence. But wait, you suddenly notice that his disciples are arguing among themselves. Their faces show that they are not happy with what they are discussing about. You go closer to listen and are shocked when you hear them arguing about who among them was the greatest. Suddenly, Jesus asked the disciples about what they were discussing, and they remained quiet. You know why they did not dare to respond. You still cannot believe that the disciples would argue about such a thing in front of the greatest man ever. It was so silly, and their silence showed that the disciples were probably embarrassed about it as well. You see, Jesus had told them before this that he would be leaving them soon. And though the disciples did not fully understand what he meant then, they were thinking that if Jesus were to leave, who among them would be the next person in charge of the group? All of them probably felt that they should be the next leader and maybe giving their reasons why they should take charge. But in the end, none of them dared to say anything when Jesus asked about what they were arguing about. And even though they did not say anything, Jesus knew what was on their minds. He told the disciples that anyone who wants to be the greatest must become the servant of all and make himself the least important. Now, that response would probably confuse everyone. How would someone be the greatest if he or she was the least important? Shouldn't the greatest be the best, the strongest, the smartest, the most powerful, the winner, the champion? Well, the world around us might think that way, but that is not how God thinks. Jesus is saying that a truly great person will put the needs of others before their own. There is a story about a group of children who were preparing to run a 100-meter race. At the finish line was a prize table with a large gold medal waiting to be won by the winner of the race. The spectators in the stands cheered for the participants who were getting ready for the start of the race. When the race started, every child ran as fast as they could, all hoping to be the first to cross the finish line and win the prize. Suddenly, one of the children tripped and fell down. He crashed onto the ground and yelled in pain. Everyone in the stadium was shocked and fell silent. The other runners were also surprised, and even the ones who were ahead stopped and turned around as they were wondering why everyone had stopped cheering. The boy who fell remained on the ground, clutching his wounded leg and crying. He was in pain. He knew he would not win the race. And worst of all, he knew everyone was probably going to make fun of him because of this incident. He sat on the ground, feeling miserable. And just as he thought no one would bother about him and the runners would just continue the race, he felt a pair of hands on his arm, helping him up, and a voice asking if he was all right. He looked up and to his surprise saw all the runners in the race gathered around him, all checking to see if he was okay. He gave a shy nod and the other runners smiled. Some of them carried and supported him and walked him slowly to the finish line. When they reached the finish line, all of the runners, including the injured boy, crossed it together. The whole stadium roared, cheered, and applauded loudly in appreciation and awe. The spectators had just witnessed something powerful. A group of children who fought not about themselves, but of their fallen friend. That day, no runner won the gold medal, but all of them won the hearts of everyone there. In fact, even those who witnessed this wonderful event were winners, as they got to experience what it truly meant to be a winner. A truly great person is not the one who draws attention to him or herself or tries to stand out in a crowd. They think of themselves last, and for this reason, they will come first in the kingdom of God. God is not impressed by our power or wealth or riches. He is not bothered if you did not score full marks for your English spelling or your mathematics quiz. He is not going to be angry with you if you are not the class monitor or school prefect. He does not mind if you cannot sing or dance or play a sport well. What is really important to God is the goodness of our hearts. How should we live if we want to be great in a way that really matters to God? Jesus says that it is by learning to put ourselves last and other people first. It is perfectly fine to want to put in your best effort and work hard to achieve success. Go ahead, do that. But even as you do, never neglect others or put others down so that you can be on top. Instead of always being bossy and always trying to take charge of things, take a step back sometimes and give others a chance to try. If a classmate is struggling to complete a homework task, offer some tips to help him or her understand the next step so that he or she can succeed. If you want to watch a show but your brother or sister wants to watch something else, let them watch the program they choose. If you have some extra pocket money, instead of buying yourself an ice cream, maybe you can buy a little treat for a friend or sibling or donate it to charity. In all of these, you are putting the interests of someone else first, and in doing so, helping them experience God's love through your actions. Putting others first is not always easy, but with God's help, we will succeed. Jesus has taught us what it means to be a truly great disciple. This is not the kind of medal that we should be working towards in our lives. This is the real medal that we must work towards, because this is the medal that reminds us of what it really means to be truly great. To humble ourselves as Jesus did, to make sacrifices for the sake of others as Jesus did, to love as Jesus did. This is our medal to true greatness. Do you want to be great according to what people think by putting yourself before others? Or will you be great according to what matters to God and put others first before yourself? The choice is yours. Thank you, and may God bless you.